Welcome to this lesson where we will begin to discuss some of the Agile methodologies that we can combine with Scrum to indeed create our unique Agile solution. So Agile is not just one methodology, it is a family. And Scrum is almost always the base or the foundation of the Agile solution. Then principles and practices from other Agile methodologies can be added. It does not have to be from the ones we have listed here. It could be from many other Agile methodologies, even ones that are not listed here. So first, we certainly want to build up our Scrum solution. So we will have our roles in place. So Scrum is, again, almost always the base, and Scrum is where the roles are: the product owner, the Scrum Master, the executives, and the stakeholders. Scrum is where the meetings are. We have our daily stand-up, our sprint review, retrospective, sprint planning, the sprint execution, the product increment, the backlogs. And when we have this built up, this is where we can begin to take advantage of the specialty principles and practices of other Agile methodologies. Lean is another Agile methodology that we can add to our Scrum solution. Lean had its roots in manufacturing, so it's been around a long time. In this context, Lean is primarily concerned with breaking tasks into the smallest pieces possible and getting those small tasks done. So it's focused on planning only the tasks that we can get done during the iteration, and smaller tasks go through the system faster. Lean has WIP limits. WIP stands for work in process limits. So we can focus only on the small amount of open tasks and get them done. So we can see here, in this case, we have a 3 and a 1 work in process or WIP limit, meaning that we'll have only 3 open. I will focus on those 3 and get them to the next column in the Kanban workflow. So here, notice even if we finish these 3 tasks, we can't go over to testing because we still have 1 task and the WIP limit here is 1. So this encourages the team to collaborate and swarm to get this task C over to done, so then these 3 can move on and other items can come out of the backlog. So that's really how WIP limits help us get more tasks done. Again, keeping the batch size small because small tasks go through the system faster or get done faster. And also the Kanban board helps us with that Scrum principle of transparency. Test-driven development is another practice of XP, or extreme programming, sometimes called extreme quality. So with test-driven development, that involves writing the test either first or at the same time we begin to code up our story or feature. And development begins with a failing test. So even if we see here, this is our code module here, and we have our test. This code module is obviously very immature. We can see how this would fail. So we get unit testing. This is an example of unit testing. This comes with most test environments, and this is a convenient way to do test-driven development. And we can actually begin to run this, and we see that this will be a failing test. But ultimately, we'll be adding source code to this code module for the feature or for the story. And we can also begin to develop the test as well. So this is the feature code module, and this is the test over here. We can see the test in the title. We could develop these at the same time. The advantage here is we will always have a test covering this feature or story, and these can be easily automated. So that'll really help us with regression testing. So the idea here is we will continue to improve or add to this code module until the test passes. And that's the idea here. We will be adding source code until we get a passing test. And again, most environments give us this unit testing. We can see here, this is JUnit testing to have our test written at the same time the code module is written. And again, these are very easily automated. So if we ever want to go back and validate that this feature or story is still running without a problem, we can easily run this test in an automated fashion and validate that it indeed is still working without any errors. Behavioral driven development is another way to validate that the business idea is is a solution. So business behavior driven development is not the same as test driven development. I guess you could say it's a layer above it. So behavior driven development involves testing a business case for a feature or story. It can involve workflows, as we can see here, use case diagrams, or you can actually have tools. You can purchase tools that can help you with behavior driven development. You can also have walkthroughs of certain behaviors and actions to validate that this is a solution for the business.